Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the presentation of our third Open Market Consultation, the third Open Market Consultation from the Pre-Commercial activity. I'm Carlos Larrañeta. I work for the Andalusian Public Health System, specifically for the Technical Office for Public Procurement of Innovation, and I'm the Procure for Health Community Coordinator. Before we start, some housekeeping rules. This session will be recorded. If you do and share afterwards through our communication media, so if you do not wish to appear, please switch off your camera. The list of participants will not be disseminated. And even though we have some time for a Q&A session at the end of this please type your questions in the queue and your questions in the chat. So we will try to provide as many answers as possible through the webinar, but if we are not able, we will share a Q&A document shortly after this webinar. For today's
Carlos, you're muted.
I'm muted because we are speaking through that.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. For today's agenda, I'll do the introduction, obviously, and provide some contextualization. Who is Procure for Health? What is our objective?
Again, I can't hear anything.
Yes,
They seem frozen, the image.
Only one. The front camera of Carlos is working, but the camera from
Sorry
the
about
room
that.
is...
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Again. Sorry, can you hear me, Carsten?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Brilliantly, we had some
Brilliantly. Very
connection
good,
issue
very
in the
good
room.
sound now.
Okay. So for today's agenda, I will do the contextualization. Who is Procure for Health and why are we doing this? After me, Beatriz Gomez from Corporate Procurement Service will introduce the basis of an open market consultation within the procurement of innovation process. How does it work? Then we will have some time for José María Delegera from Servicio Andaluz de Salud to present the use case on house-based care and remote monitoring. After that, Nasa Nayu from Zenith will present the outcomes of our market analysis. Abde from Corbers will present the state-of-the-art analysis results, and then we will have some time for open discussions and to try to solve any questions that you may have. Okay, who is Procure for Health? Well, we are a group of health and care services providers that has the mandate to work on improving health and care systems. This improvement of health and care system is obviously something that has to be tackled from many different phases and angles. But we are the ones that have the mandate to do it by adoption of innovations, by making new technologies available to our clinicians and patients. In this slide, you can see the founding members of the Procure for Health community. We started with 19 procurers, health and care services providers from all over Europe, and a number of the most experienced and capacitated organizations in procurement of innovation across Europe. We can say that we are the man of the innovative solutions. Nowadays, we are over 350 members in Procure for Health community, being around 80 of them health and care services providers. So what we're presenting today, we can say it is a challenge that has a relevant consensus among health and care services in Europe. What
Carlos,
is procurement of
could you
innovation?
share?
You are
Carlos, could
going
you
to
share
be
in presenter
hearing a
mode?
lot about procurement of innovation. Some of you may already be familiarized with the instrument. Some of you may not. Briefly, procurement of innovation is an instrument, as I said, to uptake innovations, to make new technologies available to our end users, clinicians and patients. But for us, to uptake an innovation is to procure an innovation. And what we're doing here is instead of going to procure something off the shelf, product off the shelf that might only fit partially our challenge or needs, what we're doing is defining our challenge and telling the innovation ecosystems, this is what we need, this is our goal. If you find a solution, we will procure it. But we're going one step further. We are also saying, if we like the solution you propose, we will not only procure the final outcome, but we will also procure the final stages of its development, the research and development service needed to reach the desired outcome. This is the procurement of innovation journey. It is basic common sense if you think about it. This is how we have structured it. It's divided in phases. There is a first phase, that is the assessment, definition, evaluation, and very important, prioritization of the needs and challenges of our organizations. This is an internal work that we have to do. This is what we have done in order to define this challenge we presented today. Then there is a second phase in which we talk about we present to the innovation ecosystem around us the challenge and ask and seek if there is already a solution in the market, if it really does fit our needs, and to what end. And if not, if it is reasonable to develop a solution, feasible to develop a solution, what will require, time-wise or resource-wise. Third phase will be the launching of the tender process, the contract. With the information and the feedback we get from this consultation with the market, what we intend is to launch a contract that is give us the possibility to get the best value for our money, but also that we launch an appealing contract, a feasible and appealing contract for the market ecosystem. And the fourth phase, if we're successful in developing the solution, the fourth phase will be the actual escalation and adoption of the solution. There is also some transversal topics that we have to take into account when we're talking about procurement of innovation. We're talking about a new way of procuring. So we have to take into consideration value-based procurement. We have to take into consideration value engineering. We have to take into consideration sustainability of the procurement. That's the transversal next generation procurement that you can see in these slides. So what can you expect from now? With the information, as I said, with the information we gathered, we build a tender, a contract that is feasible and appealing and realistic. And we typically launch a competition among the solutions that we find out that have the potential to have a positive impact. And you can see the process is divided in phases that allow us to track the progress of the development of the solutions. And at the end of each phase, we evaluate the progress and we continue supporting those solutions that show more potential to have an impact. Anyhow, after me, Beatriz is going to deepen a little bit more in this. I just want to make one final remark. When we're talking here is about tenders and contracts for research and development service, not grants. And that's a big difference. And that's it for me right now. And I leave the floor to Beatriz.
Good morning, Carlos. If there's a little change, I'm going to be presenting instead of Beatriz because she's not feeling very well today, but I am happy to be with you today. I am going to share the presentation. Could you please make me presenter so I can share?
I've just done so, Anna. You can go ahead and
Thank
share.
you so much, Mati. Thank you. So good morning to everybody. My name is Ana Lucia Jaramillo. I am part of the legal team of Corvers Procurement Services, and we are supporting the Procure for Health project. So yeah, today we have this interesting open market consultation about home-based care and remote monitoring. In this case, I am going to present you more about pre-commercial procurement and what is pre-commercial procurement and what you can expect from this. So let's go first to the main concepts. Pre-commercial procurement is an approach to the procurement of R&D services. Is a very effective tool in order to achieve the research and development of solutions when we still don't find solutions available in the market, and we need to go through the process of innovation from the solution design, the prototype development, and the original testing of a limited volume of product services. So here you see that, here you can see the technology readiness levels on the left side. Normally pre-commercial procurement is covering the process of innovation from TRL 3 until TRL 8. It could be that solutions are at higher TRL levels. So for example, they have been already validated in a lab, and we need to take from TRL 5 to validate the solutions in relevant environment and so on. But what are the main features of PCP? PCP, as I said, is the procurement of research and development services, and it is done in competitive phases. So this means that we have several suppliers, so it have different technology vendors or providers in different phases, and they compete throughout the phases. So we go through the phases, and after each phase, there's an evaluation to understand which technology providers are actually successful, and they can go to the next phase, sign a new contract for the next phase, and you see that in phase 3, ideally, we'll have alternative suppliers, alternative solutions that could be, for example, from 2 different suppliers. So that's one of the features of PCP, this competitive approach in phases where different suppliers can participate. It's also an approach that is characterized by the risk-benefit sharing under market conditions. That means that the public procurer is not paying the full cost of the R&D. So it's not obtaining the whole benefit of these solutions, in the sense that, for example, the intellectual property rights remain vested in the contractor. So it's not paying for the exclusivity of such a solution, but perhaps for licenses that to use, for example, the prototypes. So it's, as I said, risk-benefit sharing. The intellectual property rights remain vested in the contractors, the ones who develop them, in order for this to be exploited after the PCP to bring the solutions to the market, to commercialize these solutions. Another important feature of PCP is the clear separation between the procurement of the R&D from the deployment of commercial volumes of end products. So, of course, in R&D, you have the research and development phases, again, probably from solution design to prototype development and the testing, but to actually purchase these end products, to buy this commercial volume of the solutions, there is a need for another tender. So launching a tender in which the different technology providers can participate is open again to the suppliers of the PCP, but other potential suppliers who can actually develop solutions. And this is something special in the approach of PCP. So let's go to some important aspects in the preparation of an innovation procurement project, but specifically in the preparation of a PCP. So before actually launching a tender, a PCP tender, it is important to prepare for public buyers. It's really important to prepare to understand really what the needs are, and what is available out in the market. So we follow a step-by-step approach. And after defining these problems, the challenges that we have, in this case, we have stated one specific challenge, we conduct a prior art analysis. So we look into available information in the public domain, but we also look into the patents and the standards that are available to see what kind of specific intellectual property rights are covered for those solutions that could tackle the problem. In that sense, we analyze patents using the combination of keywords once the needs have been defined, and we look also into relevant standards to see what is the level of consensus on the specific domain and the specific area problem that we are examining. And after these steps, we come to the open market consultation, and this is where we are at the moment. So we're now sharing with you the challenges that we have, the problems, the findings from the state-of-the-art analysis, from the patent search, as I mentioned, from the standards landscape. And we like to provide you information that we have obtained, but we also want your feedback. So we want to see if you can challenge the findings and provide information on the solutions that could tackle the need, perhaps the maturity of the solution. So what is the technology readiness levels of these solutions? And additionally, we would like to know if the initial setup of the procurement is something that market and the economic operators find suitable, feasible. You can provide input for us to fine-tune the tender documents of a future procurement of R&D services. So with the information that we collect through this open market consultation from economic operators, technology providers, even research organizations that want to share with us your thoughts, your work in the specific field, we move to the next step, that is building a business case. So doing some value calculations. Initially, we have some preliminary business case, but with the findings after the open market consultation, we can really decide on the trajectory that we're going to follow, whether there are grounds for pre-commercial procurement because there is still need for R&D, to understand what is the readiness of the solutions, and in these value calculations also understand the net present value, the return on the investment if we decide to do this investment in the research and development for these solutions to tackle the needs. So the main objectives of the open market consultation are to validate the findings of the state-of-the-art analysis and discuss the viability of possible technical and financial provisions, the functionalities. So really establish a dialogue with you to understand if the work that we have done until now is correct, if we need to take into consideration other aspects from the technical perspective, but also from the financial perspective and the functionalities in case we need to fine-tune something. Another objective is to raise awareness of the industry and the relevant stakeholders, including other potential users as well that may be interested and have the same challenge as the one that is being analyzed in this open market consultation. So really informing the market and the industry so they are alert and really, let's say, ready to respond to a possible future pre-commercial procurement. And of course, we want to collect these insights from the industry and the relevant stakeholders to fine-tune the tender specifications, as I mentioned before, because the information that you provide to us is really crucial to really make a viable tender. We need to know if the market is ready to come up with solutions, and perhaps the market already has solutions, but we really need to know and decide the way to proceed. So there are several activities in the context of the open market consultation. As you can see, there's a sort of a timeline here and different events. There was a publication of a general prior information notice on Tender Electronic Daily, that is the European platform for public procurement. So this prior information notice to have a wide announcement of the open market consultation was published on the 5th of January. And by the 1st of April, there was a publication of a specific PIN for the specific challenge, and also the publication of all the OMC documents, the open market consultation documents on the project website. Here you can see the links to the website and the links to the relevant information. In the OMC document, the rules and the objectives of the open market consultations are presented. Also, the timeline of activities, the description of the challenge, the different findings on the state of the art and the market analysis. So this is important for you to provide us feedback through the request for information that is published in EU survey as an EU survey questionnaire. And here is also the link to the EU survey questionnaire. This is how you can provide us with input, with feedback. This questionnaire is easy to reply, but if you have any questions about the questionnaire, you can also contact us. But really, I encourage you to provide us information through the EU survey questionnaire, because this really can have an effect in how we prepare for the follow-up pre-commercial procurement. So on the 8th of May, there was an event in English online. On the 20th of May, there's deadlines for the questions via the OMC questionnaire. By the 30th of May, I think we have some activity. No, looking at a calendar that is not specific for the open market consultation, but because the deadline to submit the questions for the EU survey questionnaire is going to be a little bit longer than this schedule here. So I think there's we need to fine tune this in the presentation, but you still have time to reply to this questionnaire for the specific OMC. And at the end, we will have a report published on the website of the project, a report on the findings on the open market consultations, including all the questions and answers to the OMC questionnaire. So just for you, probably I need to share the schedule that is specifically for this challenge. If my colleagues can help me with the schedule, I will appreciate that.
I will copy it in the chat straight away.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let me see. I am going to just look so that I can give you the information on this challenge. Let me see. Yes, indeed. So this you should take into account the following dates. On the 6th of May, the publication of the prior information notice. On the 26th of June, the webinar. This is the one that we are holding today. And on the 12th of July is the deadline to fill in the OMC questionnaire, the open market questionnaire. So this is the date that you should keep in mind. That is 12th July. And please fill in the questionnaire on EU survey, because this is going to be information that is valuable for us. So thanks, Beatriz, for having the questionnaire here. I am going to right away include it in the presentation to have the right dates there. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them now or at the end of the event. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ana Lucia. Now, Jose Maria is going to present the use case. Let me share the screen. Okay. Jose Maria.
Okay, thank you very much, Carlos. My name is Jose Maria de la Higuera, and I work for the SAS Andalusian Health Service as Innovation in Healthcare Service advisor. And I will try to present you briefly what is the content of the use case that we have identified in the topic area of integrated care and digital healthcare and ICT. Oh. Sorry, yeah. Home-based care and remote monitoring, it has to do with the pressing need that all the healthcare system are living, and has to do with that point that 4% of the population living with multiple chronic conditions is responsible for up to 30% consumption of healthcare resources, both hospital, pharmacy, and primary care, as you can see in this figure that represents the number of persons by age and the mean cost in the different services provided by the health service. This situation is supposed to be rising in the next year because of the rising of number of those complex patients. Being as a consequence of aging and high expectation from the side of our citizens and patients, and also with the increasing development of technology solution that increase the expectations. In addition, we have to say that the role of patients is becoming more active in their own care in the home and community-based environment. So talking about the scope of the problem, is we are dealing with this expected shift from hospital-based to home and community-based care. Innovations such as remote monitoring, AI-powered alerting system, or virtual assistants are becoming more and more important as patients take increasing ownership of their care. The new solution may be based on the use of natural language processing, and both in the hospital and home and community settings, and the use of artificial intelligence in a broad context of multi-professional provision of care, whether a single specialty solution should be increased and integrated for improving support for primary care professionals, which are in the end responsible for the longitudinal home care, such in the case of family doctors and nurses and family nurses. Artificial intelligence can be embedded more extensively in clinical workflows and pathways, and through the intensive engagement of professional bodies and providers. We think that a well-designed and integrated solution can use existing technologies effectively in a new context. So our use case for home-based care and remote monitoring, consider that the home-based care and remote monitoring has rapidly increased in recent years. More healthcare may be provided at home and community settings, such as primary care centers, instead of in hospital, using virtual assistants to support patients to have a more active role in their own care plan. Clinical workflows are an integrated solution can deploy existing technology effectively in new contexts. The combination of technological advancements, cultural change, and capability building within organizations can lead to transformation toward increasing home-based care and personalized care planning. Keywords of our use case can be said as home-based care integrated solutions, remote monitoring devices, automation of clinical workflows, oncology, cardiology, and neurology specialties, deep learning for home-based healthcare, personalized care planning, and primary and community-based home and comprehensive care. If we look at what is the situation in this moment and what is the expected situation, we could say that just now more home-based care is possible thanks to technologies that we have already done. But however, there are still limitations on the possibilities to increase the ownership of the patients of their own care, as well as the acceptance from the side of providers to use these new technologies for a different organization of care. The wish situation is that with we foresee is that the combination of new advanced technologies in single specialty SaaS, oncology, cardiology, neurology, pneumology, and can be or should be integrated and supporting family practice that can be used to enhance the possibilities of home-based healthcare, relieving and reorienting some of the hospital-based care. Artificial intelligence powered alerting system or virtual assistant help patients take increased ownership of their care. Some of the required functionalities for those solutions should take into consideration are remote monitoring and alerting systems, automation of clinical workflows, adaptation of systems to disease problems and multiple chronic conditions to be included in the patient profile definition, patient-owned assessment and clinical planning, and of course, last but not least, integration with existing healthcare record system and the use of standards. We see 5 steps to achieve the dream state. One first is the identification of home-based technologies and combinations thereof. Second, development of monitoring, alerting, and virtual assistant system based on the identification and categorization of diseases, problems, and multiple chronic conditions to be included in the patient profile definition. Third, the adaptation of system to a specific healthcare environment. Fourth, develop patient-friendly interfaces. And last, allow for patient interaction in their clinical plan. Last but not least, we need solutions that should contribute to health system performance quadruple aim. Enhance patient experience, improve population health, reduce cost, and improve provider well-being as a prerequisite of any successful solution for the case. I think that is all from my side. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will have to give some answer to any question that could be posed from that side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jose Maria. I think I have to give the floor now to Nathan to present the findings of our market analysis. Nathan, please, the floor is yours.
So, hi everybody, let me share my screen with you. A minute. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Nazan Ainur. I am working at Zenit. We are the innovation agency of the land North Rhine-Westphalia in Germany. And our task is to outline, or we underwent an open market analysis on innovations in home-based care and remote monitoring. And my colleague, Jose Maria, has outlined the needs and requests in home-based care. And so I undertook the market analysis, and let me just present my findings for you. So to the background, why are we doing this market analysis? It's because the population worldwide and in Europe is aging constantly, and there is an increase of chronic diseases, not only with elderly people, but also with younger people. And we have a shortage of skilled laborers in this is putting a lot of pressure on the medical and nursing staff, and it costs a lot of money. So what we need is finding technical solutions to help the nursing staff. So to the methodology of the market analysis, we did research on the web and in research databases. We did numerous interviews with experts on that realm, and we also went to the Medica Trade Fair or the DMEA Trade Fair, which are Europe's most important trade fairs when it comes to healthcare and digitization in healthcare. Yeah. One of the sustainable development goals of Europe is good health and well-being for all EU citizens, and this involves comprehensive treatment of people with their individual clinical pictures and resulting care requirements. And they should go hand in hand, both clinical and in domestic settings, as the principle is outpatient before inpatient. And this means short hospitalization times and comprehensive treatment or further treatment in the patient's home environment. Advantages of home-based care are, of course, the comfort and the familiarity that fosters the well-being of a patient. The patient can maintain its independence at home, and the care is more personalized, and the family can also support the patient. It also avoids hospital infections, which is a large problem when it comes to chronically ill patients. It's cost effective, of course, and the continuous monitoring and care enables early detection of problems of secondary diseases, for example, and it can foster the timely intervention to prevent complications. As my colleague already listed the required functionalities, here just a short overview again. We were looking for functionalities like remote monitoring and alerting systems, automation in clinical workflows, and adaptation of systems to diseases, problems, and multi-chronic conditions to be included in the patient profile definition. And we were looking for solutions for patients' own assessment and clinical plannings. So what developments and solutions does the market offer? I can tell you the market offers a lot. Not only the big players, but also little, small or medium-sized companies are offering loads of solutions, and I will mention some of them for you. So let's have a look. We are distinguishing between monitoring systems and assisted living technologies. Like telemonitoring can monitor vital signs such as blood pressure, pulse, the oxygen saturation, or the weight of a patient. This can be regularly measured in the home environment and transmitted into the carer or medical facility or on a digital platform, and this enables continuous monitoring and early intervention in the event of deviations. And we do have smart health devices such as wearables like smartwatches, fitness trackers, and other medical devices like blood glucose meters or ECG monitors. Those enable continuous recording and monitoring of the health data. And the data can automatically be transferred to a platform or an app, like I told you, and can be assessed by the medical staff. We do also have emergency alarm and remote control systems so that patients can use alarm buttons if they fall down or if they don't feel really well. So they can call for emergency, and carers can also control certain devices or medication dispensers remotely They don't have to necessarily visit the patient at home to do that. So there are also sensor-based monitoring systems, loads and loads of solutions. Sensors in the home environment can monitor movements, for example, activities or even sleep patterns. And the deviations of normal patterns can indicate health problems or trigger appropriate measures or alert the staff. So some examples are pressure sensor mats. They are placed on the mattresses and they can detect changes in pressure and indicate that the patient is moving. This is also good for bedridden patients who are always in danger of have these ulcers on the skin. There are also motion sensors that can be placed around the room, and they also detect patients' movements in bed or can trigger alarms if in case of falling down or something like that. Yeah, video cameras, for instance, can also be used for bedridden patients or patients with dementia who run away, maybe. So there are other smart bed technologies like advanced smart bed technologies that integrate many features and sensors so that you can have a holistic monitoring with maybe one gadget. Yes, to mention some of the big players, I just put some logos on this slide. I'm not supported by them. I'm not doing advertising, but just to give you an idea of who is offering solutions on the market. Yes. I also mentioned the assisted living technologies beforehand, and those are telemedical counseling services, for example, like patients can communicate with their doctors or their carers via video calls or phone calls, and they can discuss symptoms or get advice on medication without having to leave the house. Some examples are, for instance, teleconsultations or telerehabilitation that provides virtual support and guidance for physical activity, nutrition or lifestyle changes. This can be used after, for instance, heart attacks or cancer treatments, so that the patients can be treated in their home area. You can also have, after having heavy diseases like strokes or heart attacks, some patients are also psychologically treated, and you can have such support also by telepsychiatry or psychological support remotely. Yeah, further solutions are you can manage your medication remotely, or you can monitor the effects of medications. This can be done by face-to-face with your doctor, or on digital health platforms where a group of doctors can look at your case and give you some solutions. So what is also offered are telemedicine training and education programs, so that you can, if you are chronically ill, such as you are a diabetes patient, you can have some training and education programs on your chronic illness. Yes, one requirement of the market analysis was also what is offered as a technological solution when it comes to artificial intelligence. And yes, the industry does also respond to this in healthcare. There are AI or powered virtual assistants that can guide patients through their care plans, answer questions, or even alert healthcare providers to potential problems. And there are systems such as Alexa that enables more interactions with the system and improving the patient's engagement and adherence to the care plans. And of course, the speech transcribers that facilitate care documentation for both for staff or the caring family or the patient himself. Because those speech transcribers can effortlessly convert spoken information into written texts. Yeah. What is also crucial, not in home-based healthcare, but in the clinical healthcare, is that oncologists, cardiologists, and neurologists use artificial intelligence to analyze complex medical data and support diagnosis and treatment decisions with AI. And the scalability of this technology allows it to be used both, like I told you, in the hospital and the home care environment. So when it comes to gaps in home-based care and remote monitoring, the market analysis, like I told you, illustrates very well that the industry can respond to the needs of the healthcare sector, and it already offers technological solutions that can be quickly adapted to patients' requirements, as well as individually tailored to certain requirements and needs with chronic illnesses. And addressing these challenges, we need to invest more in the digital infrastructure and the development of common standards. As I can say, the gaps are the connectivity, because in some parts of Europe, in most countries of Europe, the availability of broadband and mobile internet connections can be insufficient. So especially in rural areas, in Germany, we do have big issues with the availability of broadband, and this means or leads to that the technological solutions cannot be effectively used like they should be because of a lack in connectivity. Also, we are dealing with very, very sensitive data, and we need to protect this data as they belong to the patient and not to everybody. And Europe has a strict data protection laws. These are particularly in the General Data Protection Regulation, and these laws place really high demands on the handling of personal health data and require comprehensive patient consent. And we need to enhance and foster those laws further. So, and another problem is the interoperability of between different health systems. That means cannot be used sent from A to B as the system is not readable for B, so that means that we have issues to receive data. So how can we overcome those gaps? Collaboration between different healthcare institutions and governments or organizations on an international basis are crucial to develop and implement standards for interoperability and facilitate data exchange, for example. And what is already developed is the European Health Data Space Regulation that will be, how can I say, developed furthermore in the future. And this will help improve cross-border cooperation in the healthcare sector. Yes, that was it for now. And I hope you have some questions afterwards that we can discuss.
Thank you very much, Nathan, for sharing this very detailed work on what is the state of the art. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper into the state of the art analysis. Abed from Corvers will present the findings of that work. Abed, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks. Good morning, everyone. Carlos, there are a couple of questions in the chat. Would you like to answer them before I go with the presentation, or would you prefer to keep them till the end of the event?
We will go through them and in the Q&A part of the agenda.
Great. All right, so good morning, everyone. We will be presenting the state-of-the-art analysis. We will go through a quick description of what the state-of-the-art analysis is, why it's important, how we do it, and then we will go into the market overview. We will talk about the number of patents we found, the market coverage of each, and of course, the technical relevancy, and we will explain what's market coverage and how we calculate it, and same for the technical relevancy. And at the end, we will show some of the standards that we were able to find that they are relevant to our use case. So, So the SOTA or the state-of-the-art analysis is a combination of two things, which is the prior-of-the-art analysis and the IPR search, where we look to identify, let's say, the products, services, or even standards to define the TRL, to the technology readiness level of the relevant solutions. On the right side, we can see a chart. That is the TRL charts ranging from TRL1 to TRL7, and this is used to assess the maturity of the solutions or the patents. So in the early stages, focus on the research and conceptual design. This usually range between TRL1 and 3, then progressing to a lab validation and prototyping, going between TRL4 to 6. Mid stages involve testing prototypes in relevant environment, like putting it in place and see how it reacts. And this can be between TRL5 to 7, and later stages, when it covers the full system and qualification commercialization, this can be at TRL 8 to 9. So we just said that SOTA combines prior art analysis and IPR search. But what's an IPR search? Is basically help us to figure out if any ideas or products we are interested in are already legally protected. And it does this by checking databases that we're gonna reflect them in the upcoming slide. So it checked already legally protected ideas and databases where patents and other intellectual property rights are registered, whether locally, nationally, or internationally. So this is our methodology. We first check the databases where the patents and standards are registered. In our case, like we look into IPlytics, ISO, and SEN, which is the European Committee for Standardization. Then we search by the keywords, as my colleagues has already demonstrated the keywords. So we use these keywords, and we're gonna reflect them in the upcoming slides to be able to identify some patents that they are relevant to our use case. Since we run different searches to try to cover all the aspects of our use case, of course we're gonna have duplicates, and then we removed the duplicates, and we've narrowed to get the really relevant ones. Keep in mind that we often restrict our search for the last couple of years, and in this case, it was the last 10 years, to focus on modern research and technology. Moving to patents, these are the keywords that I think you have seen them several times, but we use keywords in our search like home-based, care-integrated solutions, remote monitoring, chronic, oncology, cardiology, neurology, automation, alert, clinical, and workflows. And after we use these keywords in our search, we were able to identify the following aspects. So some patents were focusing on patent monitoring and data collection. So there were some sensors-based systems for capturing various health data. There were other non-invasive diagnostic tools for early detection of health issues. Some patents also focus on other topics like remote communication and care coordination, let's say between the patient and the hospital or the care provider. So there were, as my colleague Nazan mentioned, there were telehealth systems with emergency intervention capabilities. There were mobile health apps for patient, caregiver, and data sharing for proper communication. And there were systems for connecting patients with appropriate healthcare personnel. Of course, and as earlier mentioned, AI and ML, machine learning, were also present with the identified patents. Some of them were able to give like personalized treatment plans and care recommendations, AI powered to alert on warnings. And of course, there were mobile apps with AI powered therapy, featuring for managing specific conditions. And there were a few of them that had like some assistive robots that can perform tasks and providing services at home with the patient. And there was augmented reality and VR therapy systems for chronic pain management, and remote monitoring system for exercise and rehabilitation. For client or patients that require home rehabilitation after, let's say, surgeries. Moving forward, so if we analyze these patents that we came up, we extracted the tools that they used, and also as previously mentioned, these tools were some of them like some patents used tools like wearable mobile appliances. Others, for example, used communication interface, handheld devices, wireless nodes. There were sensors, of course, some of them health biosensors, blood volume sensors, and cognitive therapy for delivery module. Now going to technologies, and here are some of the technologies that were used. There are many. I'm gonna pick some of them. There were technologies included health data processing, predictive analysis. Of course, as often in technology, we have digital twin, sensor monitoring, alerting system, AI, ML, and NLP. There was also home therapy machine, augmented and virtual reality. And of course, how come all of this without data analysis? So from these patents, from the research, we identified around 1,940 patents. Since we run different combinations, we had applications. After we removed them, we ended up with 894. And most of these patents have applications in industry, like healthcare technology, telemedicine, and of course, remote patient. And now, after this slide, we will start analyzing the table on the right in some more details. So we can see that, for example, Smith and Nephew has the highest number of patents. So, or let me say it another way. So the market somehow moderately concentrated. It's true that Smith and Nephew hold the most patients, which in this case 140, but their share was less than 20%. And if we combine or add the top 5 owners, they were still under 45, suggesting a spread of innovation across multiple players. And if you analyze other players like, let's say, Fastscape, they can stand out with higher technical relevancy. What does technical relevancy means? Means that their patent was cited with other patents multiple times. In other words, or in simpler terms, their technology was foundational. So this suggests that Fastscape was focusing on high innovative patents with a specific niche of medical technology. We see DECA products, for example, and Beta Bionics have high technical relevance scores, of course, but still lower than Fastscape, with also high market coverage. And this indicates that they focus on innovative patents with significant market potential. And third, there were Johnson & Johnson, for example, they have low technical relevance, despite having a decent market coverage, and this might indicate that their patents are, how can I say, are more focused on incremental improvements or existing technologies rather than groundbreaking ones. So, but please keep in mind that this analysis was taken for the top 10 players. Perhaps a more comprehensive view might reveal pockets of intense innovation in other specific areas. So the number of patents, so yeah, if we want to see in the industry trend, the number of patents in the healthcare technology has been rising since 2019, showing a big increase in research and development to create new medical solutions. Again, this is for the top 10 players, but let's say even in another simulation where we included other players, there were very minimal, minimal patents from between 2013 and 18, and there was a spike or surge in 2019 and onwards. Moving to the authority, if we need to examine where most of the patents are registered, we got the United States in the first place, following by countries from Asia like Japan and China, and then Australia and Canada. This, again, can reinforce the previous argument that there is a room for innovation in the region. Similarly, as we said in the previous slides, that there is no monopoly, so there is a room for innovation because the number of patents was spread over multiple players. And here we can see Europe is somehow lagging behind in this field, again, showing room for innovation. Moving to standards, of course, we use the same keywords as we use in the patents. We revealed several relevant standards. Overall, all of them, if you want to analyze them, they aim to create a more connected and user-friendly healthcare system or ecosystem, empowering people with better remote care options. Let's say more connecting between the patient and the caregiver. Here I'm demonstrating 3 of them, but please feel free to contact me or drop a message in the chat if you would like to see the 7. Please, these were our findings from our SOTA analysis. Please feel free to step in if in case we missed anything, and that would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, thank you very much, Abele. Okay, so now we have some time to solve some doubts that we are receiving. Let's not forget why are we doing this. As Ana Lucia said at the beginning, we would like for you to challenge our findings, to criticize, hopefully in a constructive way, what the work that we've done so far, and allow us to have more information that will improve how we shape our scope, the scope of our project, and at the end of the day, to allow us to build contracts that help us get the best value for our money, but also are feasible and appealing for the market ecosystem. I think we already have some questions in the Q&A session. Should I, Ana Lucia, are you going to go through them, or should I go?
Yes, you can
Well,
go through them, and let's see if we can together we can address all the questions. I'm just sharing the screen to have the timeline with the right dates, so you can see it. So we're closing the market consultation on the 23rd of July, and we expect your answers to the OMC questionnaire by the 22nd of July.
Okay, thank you.
On the 12th of July, sorry, the 12th of July, and we will publish the open market report on the 22nd of July.
Perfect.
So these are the dates. Okay.
Perfect.
Great. Great, Carlos.
Okay, let's go through some of the questions that we have already received. First one is from Joan Escudero. 2 questions. Which is the estimated budget and who can apply? Small and medium enterprise, large corporations. Okay, I guess I can answer that.
Yeah.
The estimated budget, something to be foreseen. This is something that some of the information something that we will come up and we validate our findings and we get the feedback from the questionnaire of the open market consultations. Still work in progress. Who can apply? Anyone. I mean, these are going to be public tenders. These are contracts. Anyone that is legally approved to be eligible in a public contract, public tender, is eligible to submit a proposal.
Mhm. Any economic operator, any interested economic operator. Mhm.
Thank you. Okay. Question, second one. Is trend monitoring? No, that's not question mark yet. Trend monitoring is already well implemented within hospital care. This is to gain more support for home monitoring. What insights do we have here before we go into remote monitoring? Maybe, I don't know, Jose Maria.
Yeah, I don't know if I understand quite well the question. The point is, I understand that we have already developments in the hospital environment on monitoring and how we can move that from the hospital environment to the home care and the community. I think that has to do with the point that we have already technological solutions and deployment, but the challenge is how to move and redesign technological opportunities in a different environment at home, and not only at home and in an isolated way, but considering home and surrounded by all the informal care, but also formal care in the community setting, like primary health care teams that has some role in home care, and how to integrate that in a new way, and designing personalized care plans in a personalized way to the specific conditions of patients. So I think that we have a good amount of knowledge installed, and the challenge is how to move that outside. In any case, I think the interesting point is that we can use for the designing of prototype the solutions in the hospital environment, just to check and to validate the technologies before moving outside. This is a good point. Now we are also always thinking on the more intensive provision of care and monitoring, like intensive care units have to be a reference model. I have to move that outside at home. I think it's a good point, and I think it would.
Thank you. Next question from Jose Verdú. Home-based care expected solutions are oriented to deal with chronic disease patients or acute temporal events.
This is another good point that we have been discussing within the working group and with the experience with the home care. And I think there are two different scenarios. I think some of the difficulties that we are having, that there is a tension of looking at the home care environment from the perspective of hospital and acute care, and the perspective of primary care or community approach in a more chronic caring with chronicity. I think that we haven't had a single answer to that. Both aspects can be considered, but we were focusing more specifically on chronic disease patient care more than an acute temporary events. But as you know, the limits between one situation and the other is very difficult to establish.
Okay. From Marie-Louise Erickson, thank you for your interesting presentations. Are the market and state-of-the-art analysis compliant in our report, and will you distribute it? Yes, they will be. They are already available in our webpage in the information regarding this open market consultation, but also they will be included in the final open market consultation report. So all this information will be available, as well as the presentations and the recording of this webinar. This is all transparent and open, let's say.
Mm-hmm. In the chat, you can find the link to the website where you can find the documents.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. what is the timeline? Any prognosis of when a potential PCP will be launched? Okay, we cannot make any commitment regarding the when the PCP tender will be launched, obviously, but this is something that all this work, we want to make it happen as soon as possible. So next stages for us is, as Ana Lucia already said, conclude the funding of the open market consultation, for us to start assessing which is the correct strategy for the procurement of these possible solutions, and to seek for the resources to do so. Hopefully, in few months, you will be hearing shortly from us, but not able to commit to a date yet. Okay. Any other question? From Jonas Nyquist, how is the Procure for Health vision and way forward to procure roll out in the respective countries? In Sweden, it has been published a Procure for Health document signed by 5 large regions. Do we see this commitment also from other countries in Europe? Okay, I think this is a general question, if I understand correctly. How are we trying to foster the use of the procurement of innovation instrument across Europe? Let's say that what we're next stage in this activity about the enhancing of the use of the procurement of innovation instrument, that we really believe has a lot of potential to have a big impact in the improvement of our healthcare systems, is that we are fine-tuning of our common action plan, let's say strategic plan. And this is something that will be presented to the world, let's say, at the end of September. And next stage is to seek for the endorsement of every European region, or at least as many as we can. So we all work in the same way and in the same path toward achieving the use of procurement of innovation as an instrument, a daily instrument to as I said, it's not only the use of procurement of innovation per se, but the possibility of the making new technologies available to our end users in a more efficient way. As you have seen in the market analysis presented today, there is a lot of technological possibilities out there, but there is still a lot to do to make them available to the end users. So that's the scope of all the work that we're doing. I hope I did tackle your question. Okay, there is some questions, some replies already in the chat. Next question, since there are many procurers and in order to form a robust consortium, does all site procurers will participate in this PCP for implementation localization? Well, probably not all of them. There will be a group of lead procurers, but those that have, we'll have a lot to do on our tables. And at the end, those that this is one of the main priorities at the moment will get on board. There's, as I said, there is a general consensus, but the usual PCP procedure, there is a lead procurer that is the one that launched the tender, the contracts, but the solutions then are make available to the rest of the procurers. So, as I said, sometimes we have to seek for the efficiency of the procurement services and have a core group of procurers that will lead the task, but then it will be for sure shared with everyone else within our community. Please, Anna, and anyone else, if you have something to add, do not hesitate.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, this is
outline. Maybe about the next one, Carlos. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm trying to read it because this is outline.
Yes, it's a little bit difficult to read it.
Yeah, I can take over. it's from Christian D'Alessandro. Hello, Maini. Thanks for the nice presentation. I have seen that there were several mentions to cardiovascular diseases and oncology. However, I did not see anything about respiratory. COPD is the third leading cause of death worldwide. Have you come across the lack of treatment and monitoring solutions for this disease? Since we at Zenit did the market analysis for that, actually, well, we have seen many diseases, but as you said, not COPD. We have not come over this fact that COPD is the third leading cause of death worldwide. So. Well, we came from the market perspective of solutions, but thanks for the hint. Maybe we can tackle this afterwards and look for specifically for solutions on this topic. Thanks for that, Christian.
Yeah, just let me make a comment. This is a very opportune question because yes, we should have to consider our CPD as a priority to be considered. Yes.
Okay.
It is really missing. Yeah.
See, this is the good thing about the open market consultation. We get this feedback.
Exactly.
Questions from the Vital, from Yuri Ostrovsky. How can we contribute to the work and make themselves more visible on the European level? Well, first thing is to contribute to this open market consultation and to provide your feedback through our questionnaire. We want to have your view and your proposals and your understanding of the situation. Second part. Artificial intelligence in the current state can support decision taking, but not diagnostics. Are there any transparent rules and regulations to how AI-based systems should be used in diagnostics? I don't know. Any?
Yeah, well, this is also a good question. I think that diagnostic using artificial intelligence for diagnosis is a hot topic that is being part of the research still. So I think that we were more considering artificial intelligence application for the identification of risk and for planning and for share care plans and for coordination of care between different specialties and so on. So it has more to do with the organization and planning of the care for diagnosis.
Okay, next one. Who's going to validate the conformity of a digital solution? Okay, also I would question.
Yeah, this is part of the process of PPI, and that it will depend on who are going the actors that will be involved in the final tender. But the validation will be based on the healthcare service the providers involved in the consortium. Of course, so we have a good relevant group of public health services which can provide the scenario for validation of the solutions. Yeah,
exactly.
And maybe if I can add, Jose Maria, this GDPR question can also be of importance when it comes to our action plan, maybe because this is tackling a European-wide topic. So we could use this also and keep in mind and maybe can integrate this question or this topic in our action plan.
Yeah.
Yep. Good point. Interoperability. There is plenty of isolated solutions out there. Are there developments on the EU level to foster interoperability of digital systems in nursing care and medicine? For example, FHIR protocol. Well, I think there is plenty of initiatives regarding interoperability.
Yeah, well, I think this is one of the focus point of the integrated care perspective, that we have already isolated solution for specific conditions and for specific specialties, and what we are looking for how to integrate different settings and multi-morbidity or multi-professional solution for those complex patients that require not a single isolated solution, but an integrated one in the whole healthcare team involved in the care, both at home or a more institutionalized scenario similar to home as a nursing home that we have to. This is a real a part of the challenge of the integrated care solution for home care.
Probably the main challenge.
Yeah, but in any case, considering nursing home in the scenario is a good point to be considered. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a comment here. It's not a question, but there are for sure solutions for COPD, PDT at home, both telemed and treatment. So something to look for, as we said before.
Yeah.
Okay. Contact and further discuss on this COPD. Thank you very much, Christian. And I think, I don't know, I do not see any other questions so far in the chat. Okay. Okay, I think for now, we did cover all the, yeah, please, go ahead.
In any of the process you find it really interesting, we appreciate the active work as well. And what about the patients and the kids, what they want, what they would be willing to accept?
Sorry, Carlos. I don't know if it's only me, but I cannot really hear anything.
Okay. Yeah.
Would be better to come over.
Yeah, I think maybe, yeah, if you come over here, maybe you can.
Yeah,
because otherwise we have the.
Yeah, it sounds far away. It's really far away.
Okay, just take a seat.
Thank you.
Take a seat and bring the question because it's very important.
My apologies, it's my laptop that's being used. My name is Morag. I'm the remote health monitoring lead here in Scotland. I was wondering, in the process, are there any plans to include the views and expectations of the patients and carers in this? I really appreciate all of the work that's gone on, very comprehensive. Absolutely agree with everything that's been said. I'm just wondering, we don't want to get to the point of having a solution that our end users really would find not to their needs. So has any consideration been given to at some point garnering that?
Well, maybe I can give a first answer on that, but it's only a partial one. Since when looking from the market supplier side, or this was the one look we took, and the second, what solutions are offered when you look at the researcher side. You tackle the severe problem. What about the users and the patients? And this has to be taken into account when it comes to a real implementation of new solutions. But before you implement, you better should ask the patients and the families if the solutions is well. Otherwise, you develop something and everybody says, "Oh well, sounds nice, but it's not worth using it because it's
Absolutely.
too complicated or whatever." You're right.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was just how early in the process we could involve some or have that built into the information coming from the suppliers. Indeed, because you're absolutely right. There's no point in designing something or procuring something if that's not, that is really not what they're looking for. And I think that you bring in the digital literacy and health literacy in that conversation.
This is a very, very good point. Yes, we have talked about the friendly interface for patients, and in the end, we have to deal with at least three parts on that solution. One, the technological provider solution, the healthcare providers that also need to be acceptability and changing organizations and understanding, and of course, if we are talking about the patient center approach from the side of the one side of patients and informal care. That are very important part of that. So if we don't balance that, that would be the solution. Would be
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just wanted to thank you very much.
Thank
But
you.
really interesting presentations. Thank you very much. Look forward to getting them through to have a closer look at them.
Thank you. Okay, I think for now we did cover all the questions. I don't know if I'm missing anyone.
Yeah, there were some, Carlos, later on.
There's some
from-
more
yeah.
that I have come in. Okay. Let's say because, well, we are running out of time. We only have 3 more minutes left. And I think we have to wrap up anyhow. And this is what I was going to say. We are going to create and answer all these questions that we have already been the reply, and any other question that we haven't had the time to do so in a Q&A document that will be included in the final report of the Open Market Consultation. Well, sorry, this Q&A document will be shared shortly in a couple of days probably. So you have all the information to hopefully provide us feedback through our through an open market consultation survey. 2 minutes. I have 2 minutes to wrap up. No, but you know we have it. I mean, just final frame of what we're talking about, because many things have been said. At the end, we are talking about taking care of chronic patients with multiple conditions that use lots of the resources we have available, and we have to optimize that. We have seen that there is a important opportunity for the technology readiness of the market to provide solutions, but there is still a lot of room for improvement in the interconnectability and adaptation and the empowering of the patients for their own care. There's a lot of room for improvement there. So that's the main scope of all this we are doing. This has been really interesting. As we have already said, stay tuned to our communication media webpage. Mostly everything will be shared there, and still any other question that come up, please submit it, because it will be included also in the Q&A session. As we said, the scope is for us to really understand what are the possibilities we have out there in order to focus this development. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. See you all soon.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Es que